And Darren, thank you, brother. Thank you for being a part of this.
Oh, my pleasure. I was really honored. It's always very humbling when someone says, "Hey, would you come on and hang out with us?" I'm like, "Sure." We're all family, right? So
That's right. I love it.
I get a little emotional sometimes because I'm looking at all the journey, and sometimes it's worth reflecting how far you've come, not necessarily how far you have to go. And because I just did another presentation. I hung up with them to come on with you guys, and today I'm back to back from 8:30 till 3:30 today, nonstop all day long, and it's kind of a joy to do. But I wanted to, before I jump into what I had prepared, what Mark asked me to share, and I really appreciate it. I keep teasing everyone because it seems like I've given this talk 100 times, but apparently it's good. Actually, my business coach, I'm actually turning it into a book. I'm going to publish a book called CEO Mindset that'll be coming out next spring. So I'm excited about that. But
Awesome.
what as I've been really reflecting and doing a lot of recruiting and taking a look at our company, and I've been here 7 years, 2 months, and 9 days is how long I've been with Symmetry. I started August 1st, 2016, and I was 51 years old when I started because I had some difficulty. Well, one second here. I want to pull up a. Oh yeah, you guys have got to see this picture. Okay, I got that prepared over there. I want to kind of tell you a little bit about my origin story because I'm very flattered and humbled because people see who the man I am now, and I've worked very hard to get here. But I think it's worth introducing you to Darren Stubbs 7 years ago, and then going all the way back and just giving you 60 seconds of. I grew up on a farm. Who said they're from Sacramento? Was that Abel?
Yes.
Where do you
Yes,
live?
sir. In Land Park.
Land Park. No kidding. My son doesn't live too far from Land Park.
Great.
One of my best friends is Roger Smith, who's the organ player for the Tower of Power, and he's the backup organ player for Dave Matthews Band. Lives in
Wow.
Land Park area. Yeah.
All great bands.
Keep my boat at the Freeport Marina, I-5 and Consumnes River exit at the yacht club there. That's where I kept my boat.
I'm like 3 minutes from there.
I know you are.
Real close.
There's all those wineries across you got to go get off of Freeport, cross the bridge, hang a left, go past, go out to the sugar mill, and then go out to Julietta, Bogle Winery. Sorry, guys, I'm having a wine moment. Yes, I'm a wine.
They're amazing.
But anyway, growing up I really grew up in Roseville, Rockland, Auburn, Loomis. That's where I'm from. So if you know Sacramento, there's two freeways. One takes you south Lake Tahoe, and one takes you up to Reno. Well, I grew up on the Reno side, the Placer County side, and that's the gold country where gold was discovered. It was actually a very beautiful place. But grew up on a farm, milking cows, bucking hay, always something broken, and we were broke. Okay, who lived outside? Didn't come in until after your parents said you could come inside, drank out of the garden hose, shot each other with BB guns. A refrigerator box was a fort for a month until it wore out because you'd played it so hard. Okay. Who had hand-me-down shirts? Hand-me-downs? Come on. Okay, I see if you, okay, for the young people, hand-me-downs are when you're broke and your mom and your aunts get together and exchange clothes. And you can't make this up. I had two aunts growing up. I swear to God, Aunt Millie, Aunt Thelma. And you can't make that up. So nothing like going to a family picnic at 4th of July and cousin Steve said, that was my shirt last year. Anybody else? I see some heads going. I see Steve. Okay, yeah, right. That's how I grew up, ladies and gentlemen. Broke, poor, but we were clean and we had food. Yep. And actually, my older brother and I actually lived in the barn for 3.5 years because my parents kept popping out younger brothers and sister. And my brother and I, Dad said, "Hey, get your butt out here, get them 2x4s, move that stuff out of the way. We're gonna build a bedroom." And out one door, that's where we milked the cows. Out the other door was the shop with the diesel and the fuel and the gas and the tools and the welders. I lived in the barn. Right, old man, hey, you can do a number one in those bushes over there. And number two, come on in the house. Anybody else grow up living in the barn because you were so poor? I did. I remember the day I decided I wasn't going to grow up and work with my hands. About 115-degree day in Sacramento. Yeah, it gets that hot every once in a while in Sacramento. Brutally hot. And I told my old man, I said, I know why God put me on this earth. He goes, oh, yeah, why is that? I said, to pull weeds in your damn garden. Well, that just bought me another week of weed duty. We had 67 fruit trees, 3/4 of an acre garden. We grew everything, ground our own wheat to make our own bread. We didn't have sugar, we had beehives. Guess was the only brother who wasn't allergic to bees that had to do all the beehive duty. My record, 17 stings in one day moving beehives. 17. So growing up, hard work was part of life. So fast forward, I went to school, majored in finance and economics, got out of school to see. In 1987, worked for Waddell and Reed on Howe Avenue, Abel, over there by Arden Fair Mall. Waddell and
yeah.
Reed, those business complexes over there. That's where I started my career in 1987. Did great, but I made a miscalculation. I'm not a morning person. Being a stockbroker in California, when you're in your 20s, when you still want to sleep in, yes, Donnell, exactly. Huge mistake in career choice. Because I figure if God wanted me to see the morning 8:45, that's good enough. This getting out of bed at 5 something is crazy. Did that for a few years, then went into mortgage banking in 1992, moved to Boise in 1994, made millions of dollars with my own mortgage banking company and real estate. And then 2008 came. Who knows what happened in 2008, 2009, 2010? A bunch of folks in mortgages and real estate all went bankrupt. Okay? Bankrupt. Took everything from me. Foreclosed on all of my homes. I had 17 foreclosures, personal bankruptcy, business bankruptcy. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have a credit card for 7 years. I lived on a debit card and a checking account. Now, we have this great food store headquartered in Boise, Idaho called Winco Foods. Y'all got Winco Foods where you live? It's kind of a West, Midwest. If you're out west in Pacific Mountain time zone, you got Winco Foods everywhere. Where are you guys all from, by the way? Back east, I'm guessing, somewhere?
We're spread out pretty good. I'm
Oh, you got
Midwest.
Publix. Okay.
Mark's Arizona.
No,
Mark's Arizona.
California.
Jan, all right? Sharon, all right. So,
California, down here, Santa Monica side. Okay, living in the
hey, I
desert
was
now.
just down there not too long ago. I would go into Winco Foods and I would buy a thing of Altoids and then write a check for $40 over to put two $20 bills in my pocket. And yes, I bounced a few of those checks. And yes, a couple times I had to change checking accounts because they flagged my checking account. So I just changed it. Yes, I paid every fee, made it all up, but that's where I was. Then January 11th, 6:30, 2016, January 11th, 6:39, 2016, my phone rings. I look down on my caller ID. It's a guy I haven't talked to in 7 years. I've not seen him in 7 years. Maybe you've heard of this guy, Tony Capistrano. You ever heard of that guy? Yeah, I see some. Oh yeah, the Godfather. Now, for those of you who don't know Tony Capistrano, you think he's a paisano, he's an Italian dude. Nah, he's Vietnamese. And we have a lot of fun in our master agency. So, by the way, Darren Stubbs, director Tony Capistrano, director Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell, direct to Ashley Tarr, director Danny Young, but I'm actually direct to the company as a direct. I was the 30th direct in the company. And I just want to pause for a moment and talk about the power of one phone call. I'm a little emotional today because my beautiful daughter Audrey's downstairs. She just came home from the title company, and her man just bought a new house about 20 minutes that way, and they're moving back home to Idaho from Seattle, bringing 2 of my grandbabies back home. So I'm a little,
Nice.
I got the tears of joy. So if I break down, so I can't help it. I love those grandbabies. And they call me Grampy. Grampy, can I come over to your house? Yeah, buddy, come on over. I just can't say no. Grampy, can we go to the beach again? Yeah, buddy, let's go. You know, if those of you have grandbabies, you know what I'm talking about, right? You can't say no. So the power of one phone call. And here's Tony. Bro, what do you know about the mortgage protection insurance? It's a pretty good Tony Capistrano impersonation. I'm like, nothing. I know nothing about it. He goes, well, there's these guys. Who's ever heard that phrase when a friend calls you and says, there's these guys? Oh my God, here it comes, multi-level, lotions, potions, and pills. Syrups and sauces and creams. And I'm like, look, Tony, if this is multi-level, bro, I'm hanging up the phone right now. He goes, oh, no, don't hang up the phone, don't. I'm like, okay. It's insurance, life insurance, pay off your mortgage. I'm like, oh, I kind of know what that is a little bit. I think I know what that is, but truth is I didn't. Next day, I did a 3-way call. 40 hours later, I was on an airplane. Do you know what it costs to fly from Boise, Idaho to Raleigh, North Carolina on 40 hours notice in the middle of January? You know how much that costs? More money than I had. Remember, I had no credit cards. So I'm sitting here thinking, I don't have $986. I have about $940 to my name. What am I going to do? So I called my mom and dad who live in Salt Lake City. Now, it's pretty humiliating when you're 50 years old and you got to call mom and dad for help. Anybody else have to call mom and dad at 50 years old?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Darren's eating some humble pie. You know it. Hey, mom, dad, listen, if I drive down there, would you guys take me to the airport Thursday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning? Well, sure, son. What's going on? Well, I'll tell you about it later. You see, because an airline ticket from Salt Lake to Raleigh was only $430. Well, let's see. That's back when gas was a lot cheaper. 40 bucks in gas, 5 hours in the car, a couple hours sleep in mom and dad's house, boogie down to Starbucks, grab a thing and hit the plane. That's what I did. I walked into a room. I knew no one. I hadn't seen Tony in 7 years. I met Tony again. Then he introduced me. Maybe here's a name you haven't heard. Maybe you heard this guy, Kyle Kimbrell. Oh, there's a name some of you have heard of. And it wasn't even Symmetry, it's a little practice company. They've been in business like 9 months. And they were selling mortgage protection insurance, brokering to Mutual of Omaha, brokering to different, carriers. And we went out and we took notes, and I met this guy, and there's about 100 people there. And that Saturday night, we were in Raleigh at the Hyatt Place. We were up on the top floor with a little bar thing, and we each had a drink. It was cold, it was raining. And I said to Tony and Kyle, I said, fellas, I'm in, you're in, okay, we're all gonna do it. I said, but you know what? The thing is we're all basically 50 years old. I'm the oldest. I'm older than Kyle by a year, I think, and older than Tony by maybe 18 months or 24 months. I said, fellas, what if we got together and we checked our egos at the door, and the three of us worked together as a force? Instead of having a cockfight, you're bigger, I'm better, I'm faster, I'm stronger to do that thing. Guys, how we get our ego in the way. Fellas, you got to get your damned ego out of the way now, up front. Get your ego out of the way now. I love you. I'm saying that. Mark, is that okay, bro? I'm getting a little hard. Is that okay? You guys okay with just shooting straight? Okay, ladies, hold on. Fellas, get your ego out of the way now. Or stay broke. Go ahead. Stay broke. Go ahead. Stay frustrated. Or get your ego out of the way. You become humble, coachable, teachable, trainable, act and live integrity. Those are the 5 easy things. Here's the 2 hard ones. If you're new, you have to surrender to our system. And then number 7, for the love of Jesus, you have to follow instructions. None of us can help you and coach you if you don't follow instructions. It's astounding grown adults think they know. Well, gee, I had a big ego. I thought, well, I better fly out there and see what this is all about. There's Stubbs here now. When we came home, we got our licenses. We started. A couple months later, this guy we work with at the practice company started screaming the F word at. Imagine Brandon calling you and screaming the F word at you. Steve, I'm the effing CEO. You effing do what I say. I didn't say you could effing start an effing Facebook. I'm not exaggerating, ladies and gentlemen. Every other word was the F word. I'm thinking, bro, I'm 51 years old. You need to talk to me like this. Who the hell do you think you are? Well, Kyle Kimbrell took that for about a millisecond. He started Googling IMOs. This was April 2016. So we go back out to Raleigh with the practice company, me and Tony and Eric Ondrick, and we took 22 agents back out to Raleigh. The whole weekend, this maniac guy is screaming at us, where's Kimbrell? Where's Kimbrell? And I'm like, dude, I just met the guy 2 months ago. I don't know where he's at. What are you screaming at me for? I got 9 people here. Come on, what are you yelling at me for? Well, turns out, guess where Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell were? In Phoenix at a spring tour, meeting Brandon, Casey, Brian, Danny, Ashley, Ryan Miller, Michelle Miller, a whole bunch of people. We're out there at the practice company. They're in Phoenix at a Symmetry meeting. Saturday afternoon comes by. Kimbrell calls me and Tony says, I'm out. I just resigned. I'm going to this new company, Symmetry. They have a system. They've been in business 5.5, 6 years. They're going to do $50 million this year. Great people. There's a board. There's 3 founders. We don't have to deal with one egomaniac guy telling us and screaming the F word at us. So he left in May. Tony left in June, and I left at the end of July, beginning of August. That's how I got to Symmetry. But ladies and gentlemen, it was tough. It was hard. I had no credit cards. I had no rich relatives to turn to. I didn't have a rich girlfriend. Hey, babe, can I borrow $5,000 to get my new business started? No, I had none of that. So how did I get started? Maybe some of you. Did you know that Jamie Susie had to do this? Trying to think of someone else that's really big in the business. I'll think of it. So you know what I had to do? I sold my mountain bike, sold my chainsaw, sold tools, sold artwork, sold my furniture, sold my desk. I found this picture recently. I want to share it with you. This is what I got down to. So I sold what I had to invest into leads, because I knew that if I could get the lead machine going, I could get the money machine going. Okay. This was my office. The first couple months I was in the business. There it is. That TV tray to remind me where I came from. That folding $14 Home Depot chair, yeah, that's downstairs in the garage, sitting my little workbench where I work on one of my workbenches in my 1,800 square foot epoxy garage that looks like a Pimp Daddy Pimp garage downstairs. And I paid for that with Symmetry money. But that's where I started. You mean to tell me you worked off of a laptop and a folding chair? Yeah, I did. You know why? Because I sold my desk to invest in leads. Why is there no artwork on the wall? Because I sold the artwork on the wall. Each one of these was $500. And I love to put this one over my shoulder. Every meeting I do, I point to this. And I keep teasing thing, you know what? I'm gonna get some of those stencil letters. I'm gonna add the word pain right there at the bottom. Pain, emotional, mental growth, pain is the foundation. Now, I know, Mark, this is not what you wanted me to talk about, but I just felt inspired to talk a little bit about the origin story. Because again, it's
I love
flattering.
it. I love it, Darren.
You know, it's flattering that people, because you see the man I am now. You need to know what I was. A very pissed off, angry 51-year-old, frustrated single father with 4 kids thinking, what the freak happened to my life? But I still had my mind. I still had my drive, my heart, and I still had fire in the belly in my gut. And thank God Brian Pope came to me in April 2017. Guess where? At the Phoenix Spring Tour. Pulled me aside. Have you guys seen Pope, how jacked and yoked he is? Holy crap! Like, dude, whatever peptide you're, give me some of that stuff. We were just sitting in the hot tub down in, well, all of us were down in Mexico a couple months back, and Pope pulls off his shirt, and I'm thinking, well, I look pretty good for 58 and a half years old, until you look over at Pope and you go, shit, I'm putting my shirt back on, man. That's crazy. But you know how Brian and Jerry are? They're so humble. They're so loving. They're so kind. You see, and back in April 2017, Pope saw something in me. He pulled me aside. He put that big hand on me, right on this right shoulder. He grabbed me, got my attention, you know, man to man. You want to know what Brian Pope told me in April of 2017? Hey, Darren, I see you. You're a hardworking guy. You're a talented guy. You got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, but you got a lot of anger, brother. You got a lot of bad habits. And if you don't check that ego and work on that anger, I'm going to invite you to leave. Pope just told me he was going to fire me. I'm like, but I'm just barely getting the hang of this thing. He goes, yeah, I see that. But you got a lot of anger and a lot of bad attitude. You need help. You need coaching. This is not really a choice. This is, I'm giving you an option, and this is your option. Take it, or there's the front door. Now, how would you feel if the big man had that big old claw on you and was telling you that? Brothers, I got humble that fast because I didn't want to see the front door. I didn't want Pope showing me the front door. I wanted to stay. He goes, well, you need coaching from me. He goes, but you have to understand how this is set up. I'm like, okay, Brian, I'm listening. He goes, all right, you have to be willing to listen and then receive, Darren, because you have blind spots. You have blind spots, things you cannot see about yourself. And if you're going to be reading some books, and you're going to be getting some coaching sessions with a business coach that I'm going to pick out for you. Only you're paying for it. Oh, okay, Brian. He goes, do you agree to that? I said, yes, I do. And he goes, shake my hand and look me in the face and say, you agree. I said, I do. I agree, Brian. And then about 2 seconds later, bam, he blasted me. Boom. Not physically. He just started listing all my weaknesses and shortcomings. Was it worth it? Oh, yeah. Was it worth reading books? I don't know. Core value number 2, relentless pursuit of personal growth. Is it worth it? Yes. Because everything you want is outside your comfort zone. Everything you want is on the other side of the pain that you are avoiding. That's why I want the first word on here to be pain. Anybody get call reluctance? You feel pain, nervous, and anxious to dial your leads. What the hell is that about? For crying out loud. The client took the time to fill it out on their own handwriting. They filled it out. They called in. They pressed 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They filled it all out. Why would you have an irrational fear to call someone who filled the damn form out asking for information? What the hell is that? It's in here. You think, well, I don't want to bother them. For crying out loud, they put first, last, 2 cell phone numbers. Why are you afraid to call this person? Get your booty on the phone, man up, woman up, make some damn dials. Our entire business plan is this thing right here. You see this? It's called a phone. You're going to make some dials. Oh, it's so hard, Debbie. I don't want to make those. What if they hang up the phone on me? What if they yell at me? Oh, they're going to. Oh, did we not tell you that part? Oh, yeah, people are going to hang up on you. You want to hear the worst that's ever going to happen to you in cemetery? I mean, the absolute worst. You ready? Darren, F off. Don't ever call me again. Oh, look at that. My fingers that I dialed, they didn't get amputated. My eyes weren't gouged. My teeth are still here. I'm not bleeding. That's the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you here. So don't tell me dials is hard because I don't want to hear it. You know what hard work is? Hanging sheetrock in Fresno in August. Now, Sacramento's hot. Fresno's 7 to 10 degrees hotter. Oh, it's right there with Vegas and Phoenix, Fresno.
Yeah.
Anybody ever work a construction crew besides me? Why is hanging sheetrock a brutal job in the summertime? Somebody unmute and tell why. Because it's heavy. 4x8 or 4x12 piece of sheetrock, trying to put that up yourself and then screw it in. And then they come along with the mud, and it gets so humid inside the construction site, you feel like you're breathing liquid because it's so hot and so humid. That is hard work. How about where Pope lives in Incline Village, up the top of the Sierra Nevada? It's next to Lake Tahoe. You know, it's like 7, 8, 10,000 feet up. You know, those wintertime storms come and knock the power poles down. Someone has to go out in that big truck with the bucket with the thing when it's like 70-mile-an-hour winds and 40 below zero, and that guy's up there rehanging the power line so you don't freeze your ass off at your house. Yeah, that is hard work. Making some dials, well, that's not hard work. Well, how about working in a kitchen in a restaurant, like a sweatshop restaurant? You're a hostess, but you're also bussing tables, and maybe you're serving, and maybe you're doing dishes, and it's hot and sweaty, and you're back there working your tail off. And you think making phone calls is hard work? Well, why don't you go work in a professional kitchen where it's hot? That's hard work. This is not. I live on a golf course. The fellas are out there landscaping right now. It's getting cold outside. How'd you like to be landscaping at 32 degrees? That seems like a lot of hard work compared to, I don't know, making a phone call. I mean, are you guys picking this up? You see where I'm going with this?
Mhm.
Stop saying making phone calls is hard work, because that's bullcrap. Hard work, go work with your hands outside. That's hard work. Or try being an accountant and a CPA from January to April. Those people are working like 15, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, doing everyone's tax returns. Wow, there's a job I want. I know what I want to do. I want to study the Internal Revenue Code and help people prepare their tax returns with the penalty of perjury. If I did it wrong, I'm going to prison. Who wants that job? Not me. That sounds like a lot of hard work. Not making a phone call. So I just wanted to start with that origin story in that context of, look, you guys get to be the CEO of your own business. And maybe you've never had the chance to have that before, but you do now. And, you know, I did this talk a while back, and this is really what Mark wanted me to cover. And so I'm going to whip through some of this stuff. I'm not going to give it all to you, but I just want to kind of hit a couple highlight points here. You know, you come into this business, and if you've had a job, you got paycheck mentality. That's why new people say, oh my God, those leads cost so much money. Well, that's because you're thinking broke. You're thinking like a paycheck mentality. You're not thinking like a CEO mentality. Profits. I'm going to invest money and get a return on that. People who won't invest in leads have scarcity mentality versus abundance. You ever have a recruit say to you, well, Steve, I don't want to start at the bottom. Who's had a recruit say that? Strike the word bottom from your vocabulary, please. You begin at the beginning. Broke people won't manage their time. Wealthy people manage their time. You have to surrender to your calendar. A 100% commitment to a non-negotiable calendar. My butt sits in this seat. You should see my calendar for a day. Boom, 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 just right after another. And I just sit here and do what I'm told to do, because I choose to surrender to my calendar, because I choose to be a high efficient, high output, high tech, high touch, high producer. I choose to do that of my own free will. You're not spending money, you're investing money, and it's important you get that. Now, look, we've all heard this before. 3 A words. They're free, cost you nothing. These 3 A words will change your life. Every day you get to choose what your attitude's going to be. No one, well, that guy made me mad. Really? You're telling me the other human being had the power to crawl down into your brain and turn on the mad switch? What the hell are you talking about? No, you chose to get mad. Well, Darren, I just feel poopy pants today. I don't feel like dialing. Well, then you won't hit your goal this week, because that's your attitude. You see, if you control the attitude, then you control your actions and activities. And then, yeah, you're going to have to change who you associate with. Who's had to change some of their associations since you've been at Symmetry? Well, I want you to write this acronym down, but I want you to write it this way. Okay, down the page. DBE. DBE, I know that's backwards. D stands for delete. B stands for block. E stands for erase. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have people in your life giving you drama, whose fault is that? Unmute, please. Brooke, go ahead and say it. Speak up.
Me?
I said I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Delete,
I
block,
will delete
erase
and
that person.
block, no problem.
Yes, but you also have to erase.
That's
Because you're
good.
going through your text messages, oh, and you have a little melancholy moment with that guy you went on a couple dates with in there. Forget that. Delete that dude. Get rid of him. Gone. Hey, that agent that's giving you crap, Annabelle, constant whiny, whiny, panties in a bunch, always a drama. Look, love them, coach them, help them. Because look at the core values. Relationships matter. What comes first? You, people, your teammates, your customers, your client. Don't you get it? This is sacred responsibility. It's not, well, I'm just going to take some stupid life insurance. Who's delivered a check to one of your clients? Raise your hand. Come on, no one here has delivered a check. Okay. Did you cry when you got back in the car? Brother Darren cries every time. If you haven't done that, the first time you do it, you call your upline, you call your agency, you call me. If you are not changed in here when you deliver that check, why do you think I don't give a crap what someone says to me on the phone? Because maybe I called them and they had a crappy day at work. They came home, the house is on fire, not literally. The wife is mad, the husband's mad, and I call, hey, this is Darren from the Mortgage Protection. Yeah, click. I don't know what happened to that lady's day. Why do you take it so personal? Raise your hand if you ever had a bad day when you came home from work and the house is on fire and your husband's not doing what he's supposed to do. The house is a mess. The dishes aren't done. There's poop in the toilet. The kids put the laundry in the wrong hamper. Someone poured bleach on your best pair of jeans. Hello? Anybody ever had this happen besides me? Got kids, got family? It's called life, ladies and gentlemen. Life happens. You get to do what? Choose your what? Choose your attitude. Okay? So you get that thing in control. You get the attitude in control. You start to think like a business owner. Hey, W-2 employees. Who had a job before you came to Symmetry? You had a job, right? W-2 wage. Who had to pay your cell phone bill? Well, you paid with after-tax dollars. That's what broke people do. You see, you earn money, they confiscate, take your taxes. That's why it's called a confiscatory tax system. Well, what is the root word of confiscatory? To confiscate. Yeah, the government steals from us, basically, is what they do. Because the government doesn't create money. Any money the government has, they took it from one of us to then redistribute it. So the government does not create money. Economics 101, okay? I'll get off the econ. And then you spend. What do entrepreneurs do? What do CEOs do? Well, I earn money, and then I pay my cell phone bill with pre-tax dollars, and then I'm taxed on what's left. That's like a 30% pay raise, just like that. This is real money right out of thin air. Just understanding how the tax code works. But you got to keep good records. You got to have different bank accounts. You're going to have expenses, fixed expenses, variable fixed expenses. I had an accountant give me a razz me, said, well, Darren, what's a variable fixed expense? I'm like, okay, I get it. Technically, that's not a real accounting phrase. Don't bust my chops about it. Here's what I call it. You're going to invest in leads every single week. Accept that up front. Right now, day one, I will invest in leads every week. 200, 300, 500, 600, 700, 1,000. So I'm investing in leads every week. So it might be 500 this week, 700 next week, 300 the week after that. A variable fixed expense. But I'm investing in leads every single week. Did I say that right, Steve? You're going to invest in leads how many weeks a year? Every single week. Well, I had a bad week last week. Well, then double your investment this week because you had a bad week last week.
The
Depends
system
on
owes
the
you.
large
Numbers
numbers.
owe
The
you,
law of
baby.
large numbers swings back and forth. You have to understand this. Something else too. Look, don't steal from your agency. Can't tell you how many new agents I've taught how to make a couple grand. They get that commission check, and then what do with it? Come on, someone tell me, what do we do?
Spend it.
Spend
They
it.
spend it.
Spend it. So if you were the
Buy a
CEO
new car.
well, that's the worst thing to do.
Mhm.
If you're a CEO of a publicly traded company and you just go in and you take money out of the company, what do they call that?
Embezzlement.
And where do you go, Steve?
Cement,
A federal prison.
know.
That's right. So why the hell would you steal it from your agency, your new company? Why would you do that? And you're the boss. Well, Darren, you understand I have bills to pay. Yeah, Darren understands. Get your booty back on the phone, make some more calls, get some more leads, make some more sales, then go pay your bills. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. The first time you make a commission, I have 6 bank accounts at Chase Bank and 4 credit cards, and I click and drag the money all over the place. Okay, you want to have a tax account, payroll account. And we'll teach you all that as you go, as you get larger, okay? Don't spend more than 50% of the money in your agency the first year. Well, I have bills to pay. Get your butt back on the phone. Don't drain the money out of your bank account. Well, if you drain the money out of your bank account, how are you going to invest $700 of leads for next week? How are you going to do that? You took all the money out. Well, I had this bill to pay. Well, I get it. Well, how did you get the $2,000 in your bank account? Well, that's right. You invested in leads, you got on the phone. So let me get this straight. We taught you how to create the money machine, and the first time you get money, you're going to turn the machine off? What are you thinking? Invest in leads, pay yourself first, get your booty back on the phone, and make more sales. People try to quit too soon. They try to live up, agency owner, I just scored the winning touchdown. No, you didn't. You know what a going agency owner is? The coach just called your number. You just put your helmet on. Sorry, ladies, it's football season. It's college football season. Blue hat, home game. Orange hat, away game for Boise State. So yeah, home game. And you got to be able to accept that going agency owner means you just became a starter. You've been on the practice squad. Going agency owner does not mean you threw the winning touchdown. You just became a starter. Stop trying to live off your agency of 6, 8, 10, 12 agents. You tried to quit too soon. Stay in the field longer. You've all seen the cash flow quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki. Well, I Darrenized it in symmetry and quillified it. Because who wants to be in the Quilliverse? I want to be in the Quilliverse. My job is to quillify you and quillify as many people as possible. And I think we're trademarking that, Palmer said. But look, employees, this is what we were all taught to do. The 40 for 40 plan, right? 40 hours a week, 40 years of your life. Get to age 65 and what are you? Dead broke or Walmart greeter? Dead broke driving Uber. I mean, what is a job anyway? J-O-B. Ladies and gentlemen, a job is not designed for you to become
Just
wealthy.
over broke.
That's right. And if you stay on a job long enough, you can get another acronym, J-O-B, joyless occupational bondage. Who's ever felt like a bound slave, like a servant? You're just making enough to survive. You can't even seem to get ahead. It's like, why can't I get my head above water? Because the employer doesn't want to pay for you to be successful. They want to pay just enough to keep you doing what? Working for them. If they paid for you to become uber successful, what happens to them? Well, they got to go find another employee. Don't you get it? The game is rigged against you. Well, go to college, get an education. Yeah, well, how'd that work out for most people? So a lot of folks become self-employed. Now, if you're in symmetry, your first goal is we're going to make you become self-employed. Hey, you just started. You're the CEO of your agency. It's in its infancy. That's all. It's just beginning. You're still trading time for dollars. So in the traditional world, hey, this could be the plumber, the dentist, drill, fill, and bill. You're a one-man attorney. You own the hair salon. You are the web designer. I would rather be, I've spent most of my life self-employed because I will not work for someone else. Anybody read that right there? Entrepreneur is a noun. A person who's up late working 100 hours a week for themselves to avoid whatever it takes to work 40 hours a week for someone else. Who sounds like that's you? Because that's me. I ain't working for anybody else. I'm the nicest guy in the world. You ask me to do something, Mark called me and said, hey, Darren, would you mind being on our call? Sure, brother, I'd love to be on there. You tell brother Darren what to do? Little hairs in the back of my neck, which is shaved, but they come up anyway, because do you want to be told what to do? No. But see, that's different than your mentor or your coach giving you coaching. Do you see the difference, guys? And as over time, as you build your business, become a business owner. People make you money, intellectual property. I mean, everyone knows what ROI means. What, someone unmute, what does ROI mean?
Return on investment.
Okay, well, what's ROO and ROT? And how come we don't talk more about that?
Return on your
You're in the
time.
headlights. That's what I'm here for.
Return on your time.
That is the most important one. Because what's the one commodity you can never get back?
Time.
That's right. You can't get that one back. And ROO is return on opportunity, or the opportunity cycle. You ever heard someone say, I coulda, woulda, if I'd only, I shoulda? Well, don't should all over yourself. Get your booty on the phone. Dial leads, dial recruits, and you will move through this process. And eventually you start to become an investor. Money makes you money. People make you money. Intellectual property makes you money. Interest makes you money. So what is our business model? Our business model is, this. Let's see. Team leader, key leader, agency owner, agency director, regional agency director, managing vice president, senior vice president, executive vice president. So you get it? What we're trying to do here? That's our business model. You begin at the beginning. You can't buy your way in. You can't schmooze your way in. You can't sleep your way in. You can't golf your way in. You can't drink your way in. Everyone begins at the beginning. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? I love that. Well, of course, she got it because, you know, she's a pretty blonde girl. Well, of course, he got it because he's a golfing buddy with those guys. Well, he used to date his sister, so they went to school together. So, of course, he's got a deal. Not at Symmetry. Anybody get a deal? Raise your hand if you got a special deal when you started. Did you begin in the beginning? Because I began, let's see, 7 years, 2 months, and 9 days ago at 80% commission, the beginning. That's where I began. So why are you getting your panties in a wad? Well, I want to be one of those. Then go work, go earn it. Meritocracy, merit, hard work. What you do matters here. And no one's holding you down. Have you noticed the pictures of all the people on the agency owner page? Have you noticed that? Hold on. I see deer in the headlights again. So we're gonna just take a moment, pause, and we're gonna go to that real quick, because this is worth reminding yourself, wait a second. I'm in a business plan. I'm with a group of people that no matter what I do, well, what am I going here, Darren? Okay, well, I guess I better go here and open up HQ again. Would help to have HQ open.
Always an option.
Well, it's usually open on that side over there, but I shut it off to do something else. So I'm just
You
logging
have
back.
more than one computer going, one screen.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes you more efficient. Okay, I'm talking about this screen because people say, well, Darren, what kind of people are Symmetry people? I don't know. Let's look. Delaney, super handsome, smart. Danny. You know, Danny came here at 67 years old. He's now 76. He'll do 30 million. And he talks like this, says things like, well, I'll explain something to you, Steve. That dog don't hunt down here in Louisiana. What the hell is a dog not hunting? What does that mean? I don't even know. I think it means that doesn't work. I mean, Tony Capistrano, Vietnamese guy, thick Vietnamese accent. #1 salesman, history of Symmetry. No one sell more than Tony Capistrano. I swear to God, that's how he talks. I'm not mocking him. We love it. We have fun. You know what's great? Is Tony Capistrano can sing. He can sing Steve Perry Journey tunes, all the high notes, get 2 drinks in Tony Capistrano, give him the microphone, turn on a Journey song, you're going to be blown out of the water. And Edward went to Yale. Jacob, I remember the first time I met Jacob, he was on stage telling a picture or showing a picture of himself like 7, 8, 10 years ago. He goes, I know what you see. You see a fat, bald-headed, tatted up, wife-beating, wearing drink slinger at some white trash scummy bar in Miami. He goes, that's where I work. That's what I did, but that's not who I was. Marshall, mortgage guy. Brad, man, look at all these different people. 20s. Oh, here's this goofy guy from Boise. Here's that guy. And Andrew, 28. He was packing boxes in a screw and nut factory for $15 an hour. Now the guy's a multimillionaire. And oh, he's on the board. We have a 28-year-old on our board. Well, why would you do that? Well, I don't know. Tell me, Mr. 50-something-year-old white boy, what do you know about marketing to people in their 20s with TikTok? This is what Darren knows. Nothing. That's why Andrew's on the board. Did you know we weren't doing a lot of TikTok till Andrew Jimenez said, hey, you guys got to start doing, and now we're doing lots of TikTok. New agents, new recruits, it's crazy. Black, white, brown, gay, straight, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Single, married, father-daughter. Husband-wife teams. I mean, what kind of people are Symmetry people? I don't know. Why don't you just look at the pictures on the screen right here? You're a Symmetry person. You get to choose how fast you go, how high you go, how far you go. It's totally up to you. So when you look at this whole business model and you look at what we're doing here and you realize, wait a minute. If I need money right now, I got to go sell. But I want to get to that point where I can retire. I want time and money. And what's the most precious commodity? In my opinion, time. Because you can't get that one back. So it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. Everyone wants to be over here. Well, no crap. Well, how do I get to that intersection point? For me, that was 20 grand a month. I put my head down and said, all right, I'm not even going to take a breath of air until I'm at 20 grand a month in overrides and residuals. That took 2 years. Well, 2 years and 5 months. Because I signed up in August, so the first 5 months of 2016, all of 2017, all of 2018, and I came around, I was making 20 grand a month after 2 years. Well, how'd you do that? Well, I sold a lot, and I recruited and trained a lot. Now, before I came on here today, I ran my agency numbers from inception. What did I start with? Because I only have about 6, 8 minutes left with you guys. I started with inception. I started with the power of one phone call. One phone call. Since January, that first phone call, I mean, I am a huge hitter. I'm 5th in my master agency. I've done in 7 years, 2 months, and 19 days. Brace yourself. It's such a big number. I'm such a monster producer. You ready? 7 years, 2 months, and 19 days. Darren Stubbs has done 473 apps for 764,000. I have agents in my agency that do that in about a year and a half. We have one, Bo, who does that every year. He does in a year what I've done in 7 years. So this is Darren's personal production. What about this money over here? Oh, the PacWest agency. Oh, what is my agency done? Oh, okay. My agency's done 26,477 apps, 24,722,000. Do you get it? How the hell do I make 50 grand a month in residuals? I haven't brought a client in a year and a half because I'm over here. But where did I begin? At the beginning, just like you. You begin at the beginning. It's the same damn business plan. Did you notice it's not pink for girls and blue for boys? It's the same plan for everyone. So what's the only variable? You're the variable. There's nothing wrong with the business plan. There's nothing wrong with the leads. Every time I hear a new agent say, well, the leads suck, I'm like, sister, I got to tell you, there ain't a damn thing wrong with the leads. You suck. You're just not good at it yet. Not yet. You need to get your ass whipped on the phone a little more. Because that's what it comes down to. If you're brand new, you are signing up for an ass whipping on the phone. A serious ass whooping on the phone. Day after day, you're going to get your ass kicked on the phone. Oh, well, I suppose I could hang sheetrock in Fresno in August when it's 116 degrees outside. I guess I could move to Boise and landscape Darren's golf course where it's 32 degrees and those guys are out there 19 layers, landscaping the golf. I could do that. Or I can make a few phone calls. Come on, it's not that hard. Stop making dialing hard. It's all in here. If you think dialing is hard, guess what? It is. You're right. Oh, what did Jesus say? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Okay. As a man thinketh in his or her heart, so is he or she. I know we're supposed to do all that. I'm too old to participate in all that delusion. But the bottom line is you get to control. Thank you for laughing at that. You guys get to control your outcome by controlling your what? What are the 3 A's? Attitude, activities, actions,
Association.
There it is, brother. It's a simple recipe. Stop trying to add to it. For crying out loud, just go do the damn work and stop complaining. I mean, all this Disney stuff. Hey, how many of us grew up singing Whistle While You Work? Whistle while you work. You can have that damn song stuck in your head all day. Like you'd be cursing my name at 9:30 midnight when you're laying in bed and you can't sleep. You're whistling that damn song and damn it, Darren, I got that song still stuck in my head. Well, why not find joy in your word? I do. Yes, do I get poopy pants some days? Sure, yes, I do. It's true. I do. I get poopy pants where I just don't want to do this anymore. I'm sick of it. Isn't that just normal? So it has to go back to your why. Why are you doing it? So in the next few minutes here, look, life is never going to be fair. Never. What's the great equalizer? You. See, everything you want is over here. But there's this 4-letter word called work. So think of this job as a unit of work. 1 unit of work. I invested $500 in lead. I made my 300 dials. I was on the huddle call. I was on the national call. I was on the team call, whatever you got to do. I showed up to meet my client. Boom, boom, boom. Congratulations. You did 1 unit of work, as in 1. What makes you think you're supposed to make 20 grand a month after doing 1 unit of work? Come on, that's not realistic. So, hey, well, gee, Darren, I've been doing it for a while. Nothing's happening. Wait a minute. Let's back up to what I said. Did I say this is a 3 to 5 day plan? 3 to 5 weeks, 3 to 5 months? Is that what Darren said? No, I said 3 to 5 what? Say it with me. 3 to 5 years. Years. You're going to do units of work, not for days, not for weeks, not for months. You're going to do units of work for what?
Years.
Years. Well, how long you already been working? Well, let's see, Darren, I'm 47 years old and I've been working for, 29 years. And what's the most you've ever made? 6 grand. Okay, so for 29 years, you've worked in the career and you've made 6 grand. You've been here for 3 months and you're pissed off that you're not making 50 grand a month. Someone has an unrealistic viewpoint and expectation. And it's not Symmetry. It's not Brandon, Casey, and Brian. It's not your direct. It's not your agency owner. Go look in the mirror. You haven't done enough, what? Units of work. You see, as you do these units of work, here's the trap. He's like, oh my God, it's happening. Oh, I became an agency owner. It's great. I'm retired. Oh, my business went backwards. Well, yeah, because you quit too soon. The very things that got you to get the momentum going, you quit doing it. So now you got to go back out and do it again. But if you stay at it long enough, and you do those units of work and that XY graph I showed you, and I said, it's not days, it's not weeks, it's not months, it's years, then you get to here. So stop trying to think that I'm only gonna have to work for a couple months and woohoo, I'm set. No, whoever said that? No one ever said you're gonna work for 2 months and be set. I do have agents that come in their first month and deposit 20 grand their first month, but they do exactly what we coach them to do. What's this? Come on, someone unmute, tell me.
Thermometer,
Thermometer
What's it do?
takes
regulate.
temperature.
No, it doesn't regulate. It doesn't
Takes-
set.
It takes temperature.
It reacts to its environment and then gives a measurement.
Yeah.
So it's hot. Woohoo! It's hot. Oh, it's cold. Oh. Hey, I made an appointment. Oh, someone no-showed me. Oh, I got some good leads. I made a sale. Oh, one of my people quit. I'm gonna quit. I mean, which one are you? You want to go through life being that? Or maybe you should learn to be this. What is this thing?
Thermostat
And what does a thermostat do?
sets the temperature.
Sets, controls, regulates. And my thermostat's set ironically for 70 right now. So yeah, in the middle of the night, I heard the heater kick on because it's like 30 something outside. Summertime air conditioner comes on. Well, which one are you? It's very simple. You know, I'll bet you right now you're a thermometer and you're pissed off about that. Your emotions are going up and down. Well, how do you solve that? Well, first you have a really crystal clear why. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And it can't just be money. Yes, we like money, but sure. How about pay off my bills? Okay. How about give my kids a better vacation? Great. How about take my wife on a nice trip? Write it down crystal clear. And as you do that, you stay regular, you stay at it. Look, if you're looking for a boss, Symmetry's not your place. Go get a job. Leader. I like seeing leaders on a leaderboard. Manager, mentor, boss, leader. Which one do you want? Which one do you want to be? Submission versus surrender. You know what a job is? A job is submission. That's when you bow down to that manager or to that boss. They say, hey, Steve, you got to be here at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Well, I don't want to be there. Then you're fired. You go to your boss, Debbie, and you say, well, you know, my daughter's got a T-ball game this Friday. Can I get out of, about 45 minutes early? No, you're working late on Friday. But it's my daughter's the All-Star game, man. My daughter's busted her butt all season long. Can I just go to the game? No, you can't. Now, if you want that, go ahead, stay on a job. Go submit. Do what you're told. Bow down. Submit. Or you can surrender. Now, what does surrender imply? Choice. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. I am going to choose to invest in the leads. Lucky me. I have a company that had a $50 million budget upfront the lead system for me, and all I do is download just in time what I have based on my budget. How freaking cool is that? Because you don't have 50 million, do you? I don't have 50 million. So I choose to surrender. I choose to make the deals. I choose to be on the huddle call. I choose to recruit. I choose when someone tells me to F off, I have a little ritual. I take the lead, I put a big old gash through it, I wire it up, I throw it away, and I immediately turn over. Hi, this is Darren from the Mortgage Protection Center Danelle, and the reason I'm calling is I have a copy of the form that you filled out requesting protection on a recent mortgage you did with Wells Fargo for about $450,000. I'm the caseworker and field underwriter assigned to your file. I was just calling to verify some information, gather some additional information, and from there, figure out what you might qualify for. Now, it says here you're 37 years old. Is that right? I mean, really? You think that couple little sentences is hard work? Oh my God, I have to make some dials. Wow. You come grow up on my farm with my old man giving you chores in the morning. And if it wasn't done to his specification, you felt the back of his bear claw hand or the
Fucking
whatever he had in his hand, the leather strap, the belt, the boot, the wrench. See, I choose to surrender to the process. Look, marriage is hard, divorce is hard. Choose your heart. Being fat is hard, being fit is hard. Well, you get to choose that. Communicating is hard. Not communicating is hard. You know, core value number 3, open, honest, productive communication, which includes talking about hard things, but you get to choose that. Being broke is hard. Being wealthy is hard. Well, you get to choose. Life is never going to be fair. Life's never going to be easy. It's always going to be hard, but you get to choose. So I memorized this poem when I was in college, and I'll end with this. You are the fellow that has to decide whether you do it or toss it aside. You are the fellow that makes up your mind whether you lead or linger behind, whether you stretch for the goal that's afar or just be content to stay right where you are. Take it or leave it as something to do. Just think it over. It's really all up to you. So I want to thank you for letting me come on today. You guys are awesome. Mark, thanks for having me on, brother.
Darren, you're awesome, man. I cannot tell you just how inspiring that was. I guess there's no other word for it for me other than inspiring, and I'm so grateful for your vulnerability in the origin story. I think those are so key here, right? Because
Nice to know.
yeah, nobody just lands
Everybody
up
has
there,
tough
right?
times. Everybody has setbacks. Everybody quit? I did. Anybody quit and then roll up a bunch of chargebacks to, thousands or tens of thousands? I have. But at the same time, I've also taken brand new people and watched them hit home runs, throw winning, score touchdowns. If you look for the bad, you'll find it. If you look for the good, what do you know? You'll be surrounded by it. It's everywhere. It's all choice. Look, if you haven't made up your decision to get to your conference on February 8th and 9th in Orlando, shame on you. What the hell are you waiting for? Decide right now. Send the money and buy the ticket right now, today. Well, Darren, you understand I don't have money for the hotel, for the airline ticket, and the food. Okay, well, crap, you got 3.5, 4 months. 3 months. Buy your ticket, make a decision today. Go. Now you have a ticket. Okay, well, I got to figure out how to get an airline ticket. Well, I guess I better get some leads, make some sales. Oh, I got some commissions. I got to pay myself first for leads. Got a few little bills to pay. Oh, and here's my money for my airline ticket. Oh, I'll get back on the phone. Now here's my hotel. Earn the money to pay your way. Besides, you're paying with pre-tax dollars. You get to write it all off anyway. Just decide, go. Don't wait for someone to decide for you, because what will happen is you won't go and you probably won't be here. You probably won't even make it to conference next year in Denver in September. You'll probably quit before then. But guess what? You get to choose. You get to decide. So look, it's been my pleasure to be with you guys today. Thanks so much for having me. You see me in the hallway conference, come grab me and say, hey, I had whistle while I work till 3 o'clock in the morning, you jerk. Thanks a lot. Just joking.
Darren, I can't wait to buy you a drink at conference, dude. Cannot
And
wait
I'll
to
take
see
you up on
again.
that. I'll take you up
I
on
hope
that.
you do. I hope you do. I can't wait.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much
Have a
for everything,
successful
man.
week. Take care.
Thank you guys, everybody.